newly constructed walkway to enhance the motivation status of our civil servants in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
What is going on? Thank you.
The Chief of Staff, Your Excellency, ordinarily the Governor in the presence of all the entire
Iwo reaction wele na kelu. No. Anyị na-asị gị bịala. N'aha ndị ọrụ.
N'odoro onye ọbụla o. Your Excellency, Barrister, particularly the Honorable Dr. Arin. Ekelele m ndị ọrụ niile nọ nga. No. Through the head of service. Uzodimma.
The momentary explosive acceptance of your person and office was natural. So when you did that, I'm sure you were surprised when a particular lady invited you to look at her face and say, it is not for anybody to know the effect of having two promotions at a time. And among those who will address you today, Your Excellency, are gardeners who joined the service at level 2, level 3, who by your gracious approval are now converted, having got additional qualifications, and are now called senior civil servants. For such persons, it is impossible to take it away from him that you are a Messiah personified. Your Excellency, when you did this, you told us to remove every barrier that will stop any officer from benefiting from this promotion. Recall, Your Excellency, you had to promise that you will do this, and on November 23rd, you said this thing will be with immediate effect. And you called back and said, what of bailiffs? That you understand there is an impediment, that by your powers, you want to remove that impediment, that they may have the promotion and enjoy your gracious gift.
Yeah.
Your Excellency, you did all this. And before you are officers who are beneficiaries of all this. And we are here to thank you. Recall, Your Excellency, that when you started, you visited this secretariat. And at that time, we didn't have commissioners. And spontaneously, you directed that this place be rehabilitated, renovated, and improved upon. And you allowed power to come back to the secretariat. By coincidence, as we were walking around the stairs, water was flowing behind this room. And that was because you directed that water supply should be available in the secretariat. Your Excellency, recall as you were walking up my office, you could see new furniture, new television, new fridges that were part of your approval that the working condition should be improved upon. When we talk of what you have done, we are talking about it involuntarily, because in the system of man, there is voluntary action and involuntary action. And when an action begins to be voluntary after a time, it becomes involuntary. And that is because in the brain it has been imparted that this thing goes in a particular way. And so when we address you as our father, it is because it's now involuntary in us that you are benevolent to us, you are gracious to us, and you think for us. Recall, Your Excellency, that when I assumed office, I didn't need to write anything before you called me apart and said, I have improved and increased your impress. And so when you have a governor of that kind, you can see that all he needs is appreciation. And that's why when we are inviting honorable commissioners, chairman of commissions, directors, we are telling them to come and celebrate today, because you have so much on your shoulder that you have accepted to be with us today. Your Excellency, you know that in giving us 13th month, in giving us double promotion, in giving us vehicles, in converting us, you want us to be going to the village with our hands in our pockets. Because there was along that line, we remember our secondary school days, when it was wrong to pass through flowers and gardens. And by your approval, we did what you commissioned today, to have gold-plated iron, metal, aluminium walkway. And you backed it up by recovering the walkways that today no officer walks under the rain. Your Excellency is of your nature. And you see, when somebody does something of his nature, he does it very graciously. As at yesterday, when His Excellency decided to come here, and when he concluded in coming here, it was to 12 in the night. And you now ask, when does our governor sleep? And you see, that is why he has made it impossible for me as a head of service to complain, because we have access to him round the clock. And so when we talk about 4 plus 4, and you know, there was a minister for education, Fafunwa. He said, if you say education is costly, try ignorance. We have His Excellency, and people are rushing internationally, nationally, giving him assignment, trying to have his minutes and seconds. And we have him as Imo people. He has revamped the economy. He has revamped the road system. He has given confidence to the workers. He has made hospitality superb. He has given security. If you say education is costly, try ignorance. But we know education is good. And we know our Oga is good. And so, sir, accept from us our humble appreciation. We are not going to hold you so strongly today, because it's your mind that speaks for us. We want to say it, sir, that on this day, by this welcome address, the office of the head of service with the permanent secretaries have looked back and moved with the commissioners supporting us that we will here and now request you to accept from us an intention that you continue to be our governor after January 14th. Sir. So, I will okay. Secondly, we will give you 2 gifts. Can the palm say? It pleases you. You will also, like our father. Thank you, sir.
To what the head of service has tried to express.
10 years. In fact, beyond that, I saw some papers 2002, people that have not been promoted. Your Excellency, you made it possible. How else can we thank you? How else can we thank you? This is the time to say thank you to His Excellency. The head of service has said so much, and the PAMSECs, the commissioners are all shining. I have known people here how they were 2.5 years ago, in fact 4 years ago, since the governor came into office. I want to be everybody up on every one of us here to do. Cheki Ano, November 11th. Ano Hunde got the vote. The women in the markets are happy because only Shiro roads, so that they can bring food stock from the villages. Your Excellency, I salute you. Nule airport anye. If you are coming in, if your brothers and sisters are coming in from the US or anywhere, they can come into Owerri at any time because again we're not here landing flights. A woman plane cannot come into Imo State because I came here. Legula Nonganyeno will say welcome again to the Civil Service Commission. I know it won't be your last. You will come again, Okweji. Governor, you will come again. Thank you very much.
Biko. Kuwanaka. With a fleet of buses. It has never happened in the history of the civil service. All I mentioned the on a pagana boss. Abasha on a pagana boss. Yes, for the Komoto. Nabamota and Imo State. Mota and your identity. When you're driving it, people, when they see you, they'll say, that's a permanent secretary. The PAMSECs here. The PAMSECs here, I hope I'm speaking your minds.
It's Ogusoya Bimbola, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transport in Imo State here. I tell people I wear a red cap, and when they ask me, what about your red cap? I said, this is Ohanese Ndimo. I want to thank His Excellency, an apostle of merit, integrity, unity, and hard work. Everywhere I go, I tell people that his own work attitude inspires me a lot. Thank you, Your Excellency. We have not had it so good like this before. Like I always tell people, we are here to bury Caesar and not to praise Caesar. But when you see somebody who is doing well, we just have to eulogize this our own governor. Look at the structures he has put in place. Look at the surrounding where we are working today. Cast your mind back to, let's say, 5-6 years ago and know what this secretariat looked like. It was almost collapsing on our heads. I was surprised the day I saw Chief of Staff with the then head of service. They came to my office around 5:30 p.m. I was around that day. And he told me they want to rehabilitate this secretariat. I was like, God, let it be. And he told me they will start the roofing from my own block because I was around that day. In less than 2 weeks, that place has won a new look. I said, God has sent a Messiah to us this time. And before you know it, you know the stories of appointment of permanent secretaries in Imo State before, where at the market square, a permanent secretary can be appointed. But this man came and said, merit, merit, merit. If you pass my exam, you will be a PAMSEC. If not now, how will a Yoruba man become a permanent secretary? It can only happen with Owa Oyoko. That's the person that can do such a thing. So without wasting our time, I'm short of words to express my gratitude and likeness for this man. Please clap for him. He deserves it. Your Excellency, sir, as a permanent secretary, I'm one of your own. So we are still looking up to you to beautify us. I tell people when they say, why do you sing the praises of Owa and Yoko everywhere? I said, somebody place a crown on my head. Another person come, Mami, removed it. And this governor came and restored the crown. To whom should my loyalty be? Please give the answer. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Observe all protocols. I wish to sincerely appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, most distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, for the wonderful edifice of Imo State House of Assembly. I want to tell you, my fellow staff, that it has never been easy with Imo State House of Assembly in the past. That edifice almost killed all of us until God sent a Messiah in the person of our amiable governor. We love you.
Messiah mo, power is no Messiah ni,
that building, if you are doubting me, you can just walk past there. The most beautiful edifice, the most beautiful house of assembly in the whole of Nigeria. And I can tell you that His Excellency sponsored the 22nd NEC meeting of Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria. It was held right here in Imo State in the month of May. I tell you, the 36 states of houses of assembly, including the National Assembly, we are here. Your Excellency, they were so shocked because in the magnanimity of our dear clerk, they were asked to go around to see that beautiful edifice. And they said, even the people from the National Assembly were terrified. They said, we have never had this kind of thing before. Where computers were popping up, and the honorable members don't need to have papers again. Digital economy. Your Excellency, we are very grateful to you. Your Excellency, there is no better thank you that PASAN, Imo State Chapter, will give to you, Your Excellency. The only better thank you that we have resolved to give to you come this day, 11th of November. We are going to show you our thank you. We don't have material gift to give to you, but we are going to tell you that you have made that House of Assembly conducive for us. We no longer work in a place where we sweat. If we are, Your Excellency, come to House of Assembly by 7 o'clock, you see every staff there ready and giving his or her best. Your Excellency, I don't want to take much of our time, but if you have seen my heart, you know that I'm talking from the inside of my heart. The workers are happy with you. And we are saying, sir, please, because you are going to return back the second time to continue your good work. Before that 11, please, sir, we urge you to put Pasan in whatever you are doing, because we are going to make it happen. Our families are going to get involved. I am the secretary of Pasan Imo State House of Assembly. My chairman is here. We all have families. We have resolved. We are here today. All these people that are jubilating are from House of Assembly. We know how to clap. We know how to appreciate. So we are going to be integrated in what His Excellency is going to do to bring him back for the second time. I rest my case, my Excellency.
No need coming here. The workers are, when I mentioned the name of the clerk is the epitome and the embodiment of worker service in that particular House of Assembly. Excellency, I don't want to mention what others have said. I didn't want to talk much about the edifice in the House of Assembly and how that place is furnished so that others will not jealous us. But let me pass my message through the way I normally do. All these things His Excellency is doing to us is of God. Do you believe it?
Uzodimma ga-achọfọ satọ edele ya n'akwụkwọ. Edele ya n'akwụkwọ.
Gov Uzodimma ga-achọfọ satọ edele ya n'akwụkwọ. Hello, Governor. 21 organized the hand clap salute. And it goes this way. And it goes this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1.
The chairman, Progressive Forum, the whole of Nigeria, the governor of Imo State, ladies and gentlemen.
Count your blessings and them one by one. Count your blessings in one another store. Count your blessings, let them one by one.
I'm indeed very glad to be in your midst today and to welcome all of you to this family gathering. I'm very, very pleased. The new enthusiasm that greeted my entry into this complex. And indeed, I thank Almighty God for that. I recall that you were the first organized group that I met when I assumed office as the governor of Imo State in January 2020. That was my own way of acknowledging your indispensability to the running of government. The memory of that first meeting is still very, very fresh in my mind because it evoked a lot of emotions in me. Those who stood close to me saw that I struggled seeing the state of affairs in this complex. I struggled to hold back tears from my eyes because of the rot that enveloped the secretariat. I held back tears because I couldn't believe the squalid environment you were subjected to, irrespective of the very important roles you play in ensuring the smooth running of government. It means that those who came before me were not able to appreciate the role of civil service as the engine room of growth in any state administration. It was indeed a most sorry sight to behold. The environment was not only unfit for human habitation, it was antithetical to the responsibilities expected from you. When I looked in your faces and observed your body languages, or your body language, I saw frustration, I saw dejection, I saw rejection and despondency. I saw hard-working citizens who had been robbed of their dignity. I saw faces that told me in more than 1,000 words that you needed rehabilitation, both physically and psychologically. When I left here after that meeting, I vowed to change that sordid narrative. I vowed to restore your dignity and self-esteem, and also to do that as a matter of urgency and priority. I must admit that it has been a long journey from that day to this day. Let me therefore use this auspicious meeting to first say a word of thanks to your fidelity to my administration so far. I recall that on that historic visit, I made some promises to you. In one sentence, I promised to reinvigorate the civil service and restore its lost glory. I told you that the secretariat comprising 10 blocks would immediately be rehabilitated and recovered. Was it done? Yes. I told you that I will also improve on your welfare package. Has it been done? Yes. I promised to restore your dignity and restore the organogram and reporting line in the service. Has it been done? Yes. Finally, I promised to recover the years of service that were lost to the locusts. Was it done? Yes. But I did not promise you that you would be paid the 13th month salaries and given some consumables during Christmas. But I have done it for 2 years now. And I hope to continue. I didn't promise you free transportation to work, but I have done that. I will even increase by next week the number of buses that will In that meeting, I didn't promise you a free health care and insurance scheme, but I have done that. I I did not promise the promotion of all civil servants due for promotion across the board. That has also been done. And as you know, it is the first of its kind in the last 10 years. So I have done far more than I promised you because I care for you. And I want the best for you and your families. And mark my words, I will do even more. When I see permanent secretaries riding in the comfort of their official vehicles and enjoying the respect they deserve, I feel a sense of fulfillment. When I realize that our civil service is now automated and a seamless system is in place for payment of salaries and transactions of government businesses, I feel proud of all of you. When I know that every one of you now knows exactly how much is due to him or her salary at the end of the month, I have a sense of fulfillment. Indeed, if you recall my words to you that day, I told you that the civil service is the engine room of government and that my administration will work full-time with the service for the realization of our prosperity agenda for our people. In order to achieve that, there was a need to elevate your working environment and improve on your welfare. Because it is very clear that workers need to be motivated to be able to do their job. So, looking back today, I can with every sense of responsibility confidently tell you that I have kept faith with those declarations and promises of mine. The prompt and regular payment of salaries and pension by my administration has brought a new lease of life to you all. And it has also enhanced the economy of our state. I'm glad to announce to you that arrangements are at advanced stages to commence the payment of gratuities to all our gallant men and women who spent their energetic youthful years rendering valuable services to our state. We will never forget their sacrifices. I'm sure you will not forget in a hurry that once upon a time, your salaries were neither regular nor fixed. There were times when you didn't know what your actual take-home pay was at the end of the month. Those days were the days you were in Egypt. I'm happy for you because those days are now gone. My dear friends, there is an interesting lesson from the Bible that I need to share with you. It has to do with a relationship between God and the Israelites, whom he liberated from Egypt. At the wilderness, he liberated them, even in land. But he gave them what they wanted. And he gave them that occasionally he didn't allow them to forget the good things God did for them. He continued to remind them of his deeds. He reminded them just to joggle their memories towards repentance and appreciation of his benevolence. What is happening in Imo State is not recovering Imo State for Hope Uzodimma. It's recovering Imo State to be a sane and modern state like other states. So we here are agents. Everything we have done for you as a government is from God, not from us. So what we try to charge you, that if we were able as a governor to resist the temptation of diverting your money, to resist the temptation of taking away what belongs to you, and to remain resilient to temptations and aggression, and commit yourself to your welfare and the upbringing of our children, we should be able to resist the temptation that will come from agents of Satan and remain focused. All of us here are human beings, and we are subject to frailties. Temptations often sway us from our focus. Sometimes we forget where we are coming from. But I know that an Igbo adage that says that the fowl is certain not to forget the man or woman who trimmed his feathers during the rainy season. But let me modify it a little bit. So I charge you not to forget in a hurry that Imo State was almost gone. Right things became the wrong things. Left things became right things. People were no longer able to understand whether they should be in service or not. According to Chino Echebe, things almost fall apart. And then there come the man Hope Uzodimma, January 15th, 2020. And we vowed and took a covenant with God to ensure that Imo State is restored. To the best of my knowledge, we are judiciously doing our best to keep to that covenant. When a few minutes ago, I thanked you for your fidelity to this administration, I was mindful of the temptations you faced from those who sought to destabilize this government through their wicked propaganda. I'm aware that some people have tried to use you to sabotage my administration. But I'm glad that you've stood your ground in all that. That is why I say thank you for your fidelity. That is why I call you my friends and members of Imo State government family. I know that more temptations will come your way as we draw close to the D-Day of November 11, 2023, just a few weeks ahead. But I'm confident that you will also withstand those temptations and their agents. These are wolves in a sheep's clothing. We've seen them before, and we know their tactics. They will tell you all what you want to hear. They will even promise to bring the rains in December. But I believe you are wiser than now. Let me make it clear. No civil servant will be victimized for exercising his or her franchise according to her clear conscience and convictions. All you need to do is to stay away from those agents who are causing mayhem, who are taking blood, who are instigating violence and crisis, who are killing our dog by calling the dog bad name. If you must not do the right thing, please stay away, because God is up there looking at all of us. Let me make it clear. Imo State is a new Imo. We will stop at nothing in making sure this state is developed. When the deceivers come to you, be dispassionate in examining where Imo was before January 2020 and where Imo State is now. Indeed, also recall where you as workers were by January 2020 and where you are now. Recall the state of major roads in our state. Compare that to the current road revolution going on in the state. There is no local government that this administration has not made an impact. Your children now have better opportunities to gain admission into universities because we now have 3 universities in the state, outside the federal universities. You and your dependents can now access quality healthcare from any part of the state. The economy of the state is now growing because we have opened up the state to investors. We have empowered our youth, and we continue to empower our youth. In the next 2 weeks, we will be graduating another 20,000 youth through our Skill Up program from the Department of Digital Skills. Most importantly, we have now commenced the dredging of Oguta Lake to the Atlantic Ocean to enhance the economy of not only Imo State, but the entire Southeast zone. The dredging is coming with an industrial cluster under our natural gas expansion and gas optimization program. The cluster will impact a liquefied natural gas plant, a petrochemical plant, fertilizer plants, and other gas-based industrial plants. In all, an estimated minimum job of 1 million jobs will be created. Surely, you will agree that Imo State is certainly on an irreversible march to a great economic and industrial breakthrough, all to the glory of God. So be mindful when some of the pretenders are making false promises about how they will make Imo safe again or how they will recover the state. Just tell them that if they stop hiring bandits to come into Imo State, if they stop burning those who are sympathetic to my government, if they stop burning their houses, if they stop kidnapping people and collecting ransom, Imo will be safe. What do I need? If you're a kidnapper, you are kidnapping to collect money. How can a governor who is sitting on money kidnap to collect another money? So if they want to make Imo safe, tell them that it is God that gives power. They should wait for their turn. Yes. When God gives them, they cannot show what they can do. But for now, I want to show to Imo people what I can do as an individual. Because when they come now to become governor, they are not going to import new police. They will not import new army. They will still work with the security agencies that I'm working with today. And these gallant men and women, many who have lost their lives, cannot be responsible for losing their lives. Therefore, like I said, insecurity in the state is politically motivated. But they are playing into God's hands. Because if you think a government is not good, and you want this government to be out, it is by bringing people out to vote so that they can vote out the government or vote in the government. But if you are killing people because you want to put fear, you don't want people to come out to vote, how will you remove the government? In their ignorance, they are saying, government, please continue with what you are doing well. But I can tell you that there will be security in Imo State. They were able to do what they did in the past because we did not understand that people can decide to begin to kill people, remove lives, just for nothing. We thought it was a genuine agitation by those young men and women who said end SARS. We thought it was a genuine agitation by those who called themselves Biafra and IPOB. We didn't know it was politicians that who were looking for state of emergency that brought people to destabilize Imo State. But they have failed and failed woefully. So as we approach the D-Day, don't lose sight of the achievements of this government in the state, especially how your welfare has been positively affected. If you want the achievements to be sustainable, you know where to go. If you also want to return to Egypt, you also know what to do. But God forbid that Imo State should face such a retardation again. Let me therefore sound this loud and clear. On November 11th, 2023, shine your eyes very well. Don't let anybody deceive you into returning to Egypt. Because the Egyptians we saw yesterday, you shall see no more. I am determined to encourage the new Imo State where there will be robust economy, because money making is an art and success is a product of creative thinking. You need to be a thinker. You need to be a leader with an acceptable ideology. You need to understand the problems of a place. No doctor treats a patient without first referring the patient for lab tests. If you are not diagnosed of any ailment, no doctor can tell you that he will beat his chest or her chest and begin treatment blindly. So we have been around. We understand what the problems are. Unfortunately, we have limited resources. We are prudently allocating these resources to be able to touch all the sectors of the economy and our politics. It has not been easy. What is very wrong and bad is that ordinarily the amount of money we are spending tackling contrived insecurity by politicians is becoming too humongous. And if only we can stabilize in terms of security, we would have started the aircraft and we will all fly together as brothers and sisters. We will not leave you behind. Amen. I know the importance of civil service. I understand your relevance in terms of development. And I know your intellectual warehouse, how to deploy it. The segmented approach, which I have adopted because of limited resources and some handicaps here and there. I will tell you that going forward, it can only be better. I am not happy addressing you people in the garden. There is no civic center or hall that we have taken all of us. But I tell you, like the earlier promises, I will do my best, not only to tackle the issue of the head of service building, but to provide for where a governor can come here and address civil servants going forward. Finally, I appreciate and encourage you to continue with the good work you are doing for our state. As you do that, government will continue to appreciate your contributions. I recall with courage the impact of subsidy removal. Our federal government has removed subsidy for petroleum products, premium motor spirit. And this has led to cosmetic rise of foreign exchange rate. This has also given room for an astronomical increase of the cost of living. Therefore, going forward, the government must deliberately bring out a policy that will alleviate, through palliative approach, alleviate the immediate sufferings that our citizens have to pass through as a result of that policy. Only yesterday, I constituted a committee to distribute the palliatives items we have procured. As a start, the head of service and the workers, the leaders of the various unions, are members of that committee. As I speak, in our warehouse, we have over 50,000 bags of rice to share. So from next week, you'll be going home with your own food items. You'll be going home with your own food items. I said earlier that I will increase the number of buses that will be bringing you to work. This government is government that is worker friendly. Your pens are my pens. Your worries are my worries. Your happiness will also be my happiness. Finally, I want to appreciate and encourage you to continue to do the good work. Work for a state, because there is no other state we can call our own. It is only Imo State. If Imo State is destroyed, it means we have no state. But if Imo State is good and is in the good book of history and news, our pride will come up. May the good Lord continue to keep you all in good health. Wisdom in the civil servants to take the position they have taken. I'm the beneficiary of that decision, and I thank God for it. But if you listen to the head of service very well, you would have also heard the reasons he advanced for taking that decision. And of course, those talent kind of performance is very encouraging, and will only spur one to do the more. So I think I'm very happy, and indeed it shows that one is not, at the end of the day, disappointing reasonable expectations.
Your Excellency, to follow up what my colleague have said, come November.
This is just the civil servants and public servants. You saw the list of items they rolled out that made them to say they will want me to continue. Now this is one micro sector. Now out there, globally speaking, I think I will rely on what I have done, not on what I will do, to ask for a return to office.
Thank you very much.